We're looking at guys that are really in the top 10, but I'm going to break down that Deontay Wilder fight, what I think that could happen there. Now, honestly, at this point in 2025, I struggle to see that fight being a stadium fight, in my opinion. I don't think it's the type of fight that could sell out a Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, that could sell out a Wembley. Not anymore. If this fight happened 6 years ago, even if this fight happened, 3 or 4 years ago, that fight probably could have gone and done Wembley, gone and done Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. But both guys are just far too removed from their prime. Now, maybe if they did a supercard there at Wembley and they had, I don't know, Eubank Jr. v Ben 3, and they had Moses v Wardley on there, and then they had Wilder and Joshua. Now that could be a gigantic British show. But them two headlining a stadium, Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua, I don't know. I don't know if that sells out Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and Wembley at this point. But I think it easily does the O2. Easily. Anthony Joshua, even at this point, Anthony Joshua by himself could still sell out the O2 right now. At one point, he could do it by himself at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which is when he was at his peak celebrity. Right? But he couldn't do that now. But he could do O2. He could do O2 against Gassiev and Ajagba and sell that out comfortably, in my opinion. Could do the same with Deontay Wilder. But out of all these guys, Deontay Wilder's by far the easiest fight because his boxing fundamentals are so poor. They're so poor. And I've never, honestly, I've said this before about Deontay Wilder, but I've never seen a boxer get worse. I've never seen a boxer get worse the longer his career goes. Now, you see boxers get slower or lose power or lose chin. But in terms of technique, he's gotten worse, and it's weird because I'm seeing, old Deontay Wilder title defenses, and sure, he's not a super slick boxer by any means of the imagination. But he had a 1-2. He had a 1-2 that was effective, that he could throw, and if he could do anything, he could throw a 1-2 right. But now it looks like he's just janky and gangly, and he can't even do that right. It's really weird, but I think this would be a super easy fight for Anthony Joshua, as long as Anthony Joshua's chin can hold up. Deontay Wilder's lost a lot of his power, but he's not lost all of it. Because even now, the way Deontay Wilder still throws punches, now yes, it's ugly, it's gangly, but he puts his entire body into those punches. Right? And it's an Anthony Joshua who's been stopped multiple times at this point. Taken 2 beatings from Usyk, got dropped by Klitschko, stopped by Andy Ruiz, and stopped by Daniel Dubois. Can he take Deontay Wilder's punch? And that's what makes this fight interesting, even now. Because yes, both guys are far removed from their primes, but the questions that we had back then are still the questions we've got now. Because both guys are past their prime. They're both at similar levels. I think Anthony Joshua is still operating at a much higher level than Deontay Wilder is. Because Deontay Wilder realistically loses to pretty much every boxer in the top 15 right now. Every one of them. But he wouldn't fight, those fights wouldn't get made. But a fight against Anthony Joshua could get made for Deontay Wilder. And for both guys, that would be their last big payday. And I'd imagine that would be it for them. Because Wilder's never working his way to an Usyk fight. Anthony Joshua's not getting a trilogy with Usyk. And he's not going to rematch Daniel Dubois. Maybe an Andy Ruiz trilogy. Maybe. And the only other fight that would be worthwhile for Anthony Joshua would be a Tyson Fury fight. Now, that's the only fight for Anthony Joshua where he could do a Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. He could do a Wembley. That's the only fight that Anthony Joshua's got that could do a Wembley. Tyson Fury. Right? These other fights can't do that. At all. At all. So, Deontay Wilder, I think he beats Deontay Wilder.